Taking a look at the 2019 PSAC Indoor Track and Field Championships on the men's side here on the Ship Raiders YouTube page. Coach O, thanks for taking a look at some hard-hitting analysis for this Raider squad.
Can't wait.
Okay. So, of all the event areas, perhaps for the men, certainly your deepest in terms of having the most athletes qualified is the sprint squad.
Absolutely.
You have a small army of sprinters heading in there this weekend to compete at the Dome up at Edinboro, and that has to be exciting just from that standpoint of when you have that many people qualified. Certainly you have your top people that you think you're relying on, but there's also just the opportunity for you never quite know what's going to happen, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah, we really, Outdoors Conference Championship, Slippery Rock really battled with us, and if not for a couple relay mishaps, they would have been right there, and they had us on the ropes on the last day, and it was a challenge, and one of the things that really stepped up for us outdoors was that sprint hurdles group. It was so thin though. It was Drew, it was Austin, it was John, it was Ori. It was thin, and we had some injuries, and those guys held the line basically. And one of the things was we were like, we have to get thicker and better at that area.
Yeah.
And we did. So it's been a really exciting sprint squad year for us. We've had a lot of developments and forward movement in that area, and I'm excited to see what they can do this weekend. Going event by event, going back to the sprints and kind of talking about what we're looking at. Roland Miles, freshman for us, has had a phenomenal year. He's going to represent us in the 16-2. He's been very solid. Looking for him to do well. Drew Stampert, again, always been there for us. Again, he's going to be a threat in the 16-2 as well. We have Calvin Dennis, who's a great depth. I don't know where some of these guys. I don't know where we're going to put them yet. We still have to talk with them
because
today.
they're qualified in multiple
We
events.
call it Decision Monday. We actually sit down as a staff and try to figure out where to put all these guys. So we really don't have 100% sure accuracy of where we're putting people like Aaron Harp. Chris Craig's back. We dusted him off, took him off the shelf, and said, "Hey, let's go." He looked phenomenal at Kutztown. Just kind of cruised, and he
a 200 meter.
He just cruised to 22.60 on a 200 flat, and
seventh in the conference.
He's top 8 in the conference. He looked over me, gave me a wink, says, "I feel great." That's pretty exciting, for a guy who was a dominant sprinter 2 years ago. So that adds even more depth to our situation. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. There's guys everywhere. Austin Howell, Booth.
John Stiles in the 400.
Stiles, Lenahan, I mean, they're everywhere. Lingard qualified in the 60. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting, and honestly, I can't tell you who's going to be where. I don't know what we're doing exactly yet. But John Stiles definitely be running the 4, I can tell you that. And Aaron will definitely be running the 2. Yes. So, as far as I go. And then the hurdle squad is something I'm really excited about.
Absolutely.
I wish I was on this hurdle squad. It's pretty impressive. Charles is ready to roll, and he's trying to get better his national position.
And this is after a school record up at Penn State earlier this year.
Right. Thankfully, he didn't run the 55 hurdles last week, so my record's still holding on for another year. I told him to go get it, and he was like, "No, I'm training through." So that's pretty cool. But yeah, he's definitely looking good. Ori Rinneman's had a fantastic senior year. He's
churned through several.
He looks amazing.
Yeah.
So we really have a good 1-2 punch at conferences as far as that goes, and
you got to look for maybe Connor Alt to score.
Yeah, we'd like to get Connor into the top 8. We'd like to have 3 out of the 8 in the final. So that's definitely a goal for that group. So I'm excited for them as far as that goes.
Then again, as we transition back into the mid distance, you have the
piggyback forward.
Yeah, piggyback forward. That's absolutely
right.
Austin Padmore and Dom Stroh as returning conference champions, and then some other individuals, some veterans, and some newcomers in the 3K and the 5K that are looking to try to get you some key points there in those events.
Yeah, Austin Padmore is just a delight to watch. He runs amazing. He's our anchor in our 4x4, and he's so exciting to watch the 800. He has a gear that most people don't have. Stroh has just had a great career for us. I mean, he was the man at Indoor Championships last year.
Yes, he was.
So we're looking forward to having him and Connor in the mile, and then the 5K. Shrimp's going to be our guy, and get some points there. And then this year we're really relying, kind of like the women, same thing. We really want that 3K to be a hammer for us. So we're going to have some guys in there that I think can really do some damage and score some significant points. So that's kind of our plan at this point. So we'll see how it goes, but. So there's no mysteries there. That's kind of what we're going to do there in the distance events.
Sure. Transitioning to jumps, a lot of excitement in the jumps, and a lot of new excitement in the jumps.
Sure.
so many of these people, just about all of them that are going to be competing in the long and triple, this is their first conference meet with the exception of Shaquille Mitchell, who
We're young.
is a sophomore.
Yeah,
So-
we're young. Yeah, this is an all-new crew for me, and it's very talented, but it's very young. So we'll have to see how they react.
First time under the lights.
Yeah, unfortunately, EJ Dorwell is injured, and I don't think I'm going to compete him. I'm going to wait to outdoors. He was a
Long jump and 60 meters.
sprinter, phenomenal athlete. He's going to be somebody I build this team around. He's a phenomenal athlete. But that doesn't mean the barn's empty. I mean, we still have plenty of people. Shamar Jenkins has been our go-to guy here in the long and the triple. So this will be his first conference meet for that, and he'd like to better his triple mark, maybe make a run at nationals as well. I'm going to probably bring Nate Reed back in the long jump during the multi because he's been pretty consistent there. Adam,
Adam Wareheim.
Yep, Adam's been a new addition, so he's going to do the long and the triple and experience his first conference meet. My veteran is Shaq Mitchell. Shaquille was, I think, 4th last year at conferences in the
top 5.
He'd like to be better than that this year, and he will be. So he's definitely, along with Shamar, that gives us a good 1-2 punch in the triple jump, which is really exciting. And then in the high jump, I have a young, I've graduated all my 7-footers, and so it's starting over again.
Yeah.
But Jordan has been very coachable and has done very, very well, and I think he's been very solid and will do very well at the conference meet. He's very easy to coach.
And we'll get back to throws at the end. You mentioned Nate Reed, one of your multis, who's going to compete in the long jump, and then one more year for David Brantley, who has just been a leader and a workhorse for your team over the years, and he's got one more indoor multi to try to complete this.
Yeah, my old warhorse has got one more in him here. So DB's gonna put one together for me here and wants to be all conference again. Make a run at it, see if he can win it. I think he's close, and I'll have to see if we can just put all those events together. Very reliable. He's been wonderful this year because of having such a young group in the jumps.
Sure.
It's been great having somebody like him kind of take control and say, okay, this is the way we do things. So it's been a great year, and I'm really glad David came back for his last season.
And transitioning over to throws here, rounding out the field, in a way, that's a pretty young group too.
Yeah.
Cam Strohe is, I think, a junior, and you've got Tyler Hewitt as a grad, but a lot of sophomores and a lot of freshmen in that group too, who are just looking to put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, we've got to score some points there. No doubt about it. In the shot put, we have Stroh is our obviously our upperclassman leader. I would say his strength is he's a pretty solid shot putter and should score in the shot, but he's really developed in the weight. Top 3 in the weight in the conference. So that's kind of where he's going to make the most noise. But he can also do some damage in the shot if he gets it put together.
Jake Gearinger, if I remember right, PR'd in the shot last year at indoors.
Yeah, Jake's kind of clicking right now. So hopefully he can put one together as well. So I think with Jake and Cam, and then with Yabani Moreno, a freshman, he's a very talented discus thrower, but he's also a very solid shot putter. So we have 3 potential guys who can score in the shot. And then we had some PRs last week in the weight. Like you said, Tyler PR'd, Jake PR'd, Cam, with Cam. So we have some people there that can score in the weight as well. So definitely need them to contribute.
And when it's all said and done, it's a squad that is seeking its 9th championship in a row, and you need the guys to step up in their individual events, but it is at least a little bit comforting to know that there's a little bit of room. You don't want to have any error, certainly, but there's guys that are going to be pushing each other, it looks like, to try to make it the most.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's some margin for error, but I hate to get caught up in numbers. I always say that.
Right.
And I said, don't get. I've seen 30 to 40 point swings at conference meets. I've been around a long time.
It's very easy to have.
And a couple things go wrong or don't go your way, and all of a sudden everybody starts looking at each other like, what's going on?
And then athletes get tense potentially.
Correct. So you really got to just stay focused and in your event and worry about your particular battle, not the war that's going on.
Do what you can do, right?
And be supportive of each other. And I think that's one thing that this squad needs to do is the men need to support the women and the women need to support the men. And we talked this year about being a better team. That's been our focus all year, fall semester, spring semester. And I've definitely seen the difference. The attitudes are better, the energy is better. So I'm excited to see what we can do up at the Dome. But I don't get too wrapped up on numbers too much. We got to show up and event by event, and you got to do what you need to do. You look great on paper, but there are some things called paper dragons, and you got to make sure that you're not you're not gonna fold, so.
People probably get tired of the cliche from any sport where they're always talking about a game at a time, but it really is. It's an event at a time, and
Yeah.
you go through what you can control your controllables, and go from there.
Our men's squad has had so much success over the years, and it's been a real privilege to be here with them. But you sometimes you get, one of the hardest things they say in sport is when a really good team just keeps winning, to keep winning and not get too complacent. And that's one thing I'm constantly talking to them about is complacency. And these teams are hungry and they want to beat you. You can't be complacent and give them an opportunity, because if they see that opportunity, they're going to get in there.
Seize it, absolutely.
So, we really talk about every year being a new year and kind of not forgetting about our legacy of what we've done in the past, but create your own identity. Exactly, Bill.
Great. And it'll be exciting to see what that identity will be. We encourage you to check out shipraiders.com for links to all the coverage from this weekend up at Edinboro. And for now, Coach O, we wish you luck this weekend.
Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate it.